Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? John, Cliff, Randy, Patrick, appreciate you joining me for this edition of Wednesday Night Live. On the last Wednesday in May, it feels more like August, doesn't it? Hello, Craig, Barry, Johnny, Stacy, Tim. Appreciate it, my friends. You're probably inside watching this because it's just too dang hot to be outside. Isn't it crazy? Countdown for what? West Dayton Outdoors checking in. Bill, good evening. How are you? Yeah, I mean, honestly, doesn't it feel like August with the temps, the drought? I think we can call it a full-blown drought now, can't we? Hey, Joe, how are things in Germfask? Cooler, hopefully, than they are here. I should check something. Let me see if I can do that. And location, no. I wanted to see what the weather was going to be like in White River, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Mike. Oh, countdown to bear hunting. Okay, Kevin. Yeah, absolutely. Gene, Tony, did you fish today? I was thinking about you today as I ran the boat across the bay. It was a pretty nice day out there. Ooh, I like this, Craig. Craig says northeast winds on the bay for the next 15 days. Actually, I like that a lot. A lot. Push some cold water in, keep those fish in the inner bay. I like that a lot. Maybe by the time I go fishing, there'll still be some fish there. Steven, good luck bear hunting. I appreciate that. Patrick said good luck in White River. Jim says, how's everybody doing tonight? 89 degrees, sitting in the truck, watering grass for a friend, drinking a Coors Light. Tony, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to check my messages. Is it a text or is it well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to check them both because I want to see what Tony got today. Tony got my fellow skinny water rat. And I say that with all due. Oh, okay. Yeah, Tony, I got you. Gotcha. Now I just got to find where it was. There we go. Walleye fishing. No, what I want. East side of the bay is great. It always is. 90 in Florida. It was 90 up here too. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good evening, Jeff. I appreciate you joining us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. This Wednesday Night Live is something I do almost every Wednesday night. In fact, I think I can probably do it again next Wednesday because I think I'll be home. I mean, with any luck, I will be home by next Wednesday. Good evening, Jeff. How are you? Where do you go? Hey, Michelle. Appreciate you joining us tonight. The new Angler Quest, Gene, is over at Linwood Beach Marina getting a different motor put on it. So I haven't fished it yet. Angie says it was flat on the bay today, or so you hear. You didn't get to go with the boys today, Angie? Is the truck packed for the trip? No. Hey, Lori, how are you? No. I haven't. It has been so absolutely crazy. I haven't done anything for the trip. Nothing. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen till tomorrow night. Hey, Al, how are you? Corey, if I didn't say hi before, I'll say it again now. Is the truck packed for the trip? I haven't done anything for the trip. I didn't notice them today, that the bugs were bad on the bay today. The other day, they certainly were. Todd, good evening. How are you? Yeah, we're putting a different motor on the Angler. I'm getting a tremendously late start on this fishing season. I bet that was a little bit hot out there today. Hey, Corey, just a little bit. Put the show on hold to get to pack it. Well, Kevin, here's the deal. As soon as I'm done with this Wednesday Night Live, I have a meeting at church tonight that'll go for 2 hours. We have an appointment first thing in the morning. Life is too busy right now. Well, Lori, I will be glad for you when school is out as well. Little rain this evening by Higgins. Excellent. I wish the whole state would get some rain. You just need to pack clean underwear in your crossbow. I don't even need the underwear, Cliff, just the crossbow. Wow, you worked on that thing all day, Corey. Man, you got to be burnt and tired and dragging. Good evening, Uncle Johnny. Thanks for running me back across the bay. I do certainly appreciate it. Uncle Johnny's like my taxi lately. I owe you, Uncle Johnny. But John saw the motors. He saw that big 300 Merc Pro S XS that I have on there now, and the one that we're going to put on there. Tony says only a few bugs. Nice breeze till noontime. That Pro XS is a beast of a motor. It is a beast of a motor. And if you weren't going to troll with it, it would be wonderful. If you were just running out to your spot. No, I'm not going to say that. Because even trying to do a river cruise with that motor would be obnoxious. It's a very, very loud motor. It's a deep, rumbling, throaty thing. It sounds great, but it's too loud for my purposes. Bring an air conditioner for the Wraith 270 this week. If Mother Nature and God and everybody else and the bears and everybody cooperate, I should, the first respectable bear that walks in front of me, I'm shooting it. If it's Saturday, if it's Sunday, I'm shooting it. Hey, Jeff, good evening. What's the date on the bear hunt? It starts Saturday. The bugs will be bad. The bugs will be abysmal. The bugs will be terrible. So aside from no clean underwear and just packing my crossbow, I also have to pack a thermocell. You cannot stand it in the Canadian bush this time of year without a thermocell. The bugs will drive you absolutely bonkers. You'll give up, get out of the blind, walk back to your truck, and sit there in the truck for the rest of the night. You can't, unless you had a bug suit on. Great motor, just not good for trolling. Yeah, it's a beast. It's loud. It's throaty. It's rumbles. Nothing's cheap anymore, eh, Fred? Although I wouldn't put any different fuel in that 300 Pro XS than I would in the motor I ran last year, which is going to be the motor I'm running this year too. And it's not. I thought it was a Verado. It's not. But the thing of it is, that motor that I ran last year and am now going to be running this year is so quiet, you don't even know it's running. I've had people get on the boat and say, aren't you going to start the motor? No, the motor's already running. Interesting, Joe says, do they know what started the fires? Speaking of fires, I thought, here's how busy I've been and how crazy it's been and how out of touch I've been. I thought all the fires in Canada were out in Alberta. So when a buddy texted me this morning, a thermocell, you've got to try a thermocell. They work. A buddy texted me this morning and said, hey, what about those fires up by White River and Wawa? Are they going to screw up your hunt? I'm like, White River, Wawa? I'm hunting in White River and I drive through Wawa. So I looked it up online and indeed there are wildfires near Wawa and White River. There was one this morning, 9 kilometers from White River. It was so smoky up there that they had to close Highway 17, which is the Southern Trans-Canada Highway. I texted Ron St. Louis. I said, Ron, I'm just hearing about this. Are we good to go? And he said, yes, the wind is blowing the fires the opposite direction. So I think we're good to go. Jim is catching walleye in Monroe tonight. Good evening, Erica. How are you? Jeff, nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. On a crazy hot Wednesday Night Live in a ridiculously, surprisingly bad drought for the last day in May. Again, I'll say it before. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It feels like it's August. I hope this isn't a precursor to what the summertime is going to bring, because the inner Saginaw Bay waters will warm up so fast those fish will be gone and I'll never see them. Because I'm not going to be out there till at least next week. Hopefully, when I get back from Ontario, the boat is ready to go and I can start fishing. Hopefully. There's no guarantee. I'm trying to get my wife, Denise, to turn on the air. Where'd we go? Jeff, I'm trying to get my wife, Denise, to turn on the air, too. Same thing here. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. He says, good luck bear hunting. Good evening, Ted. How are you? Hey, Tim. That's a cool beard you got there, buddy. Yeah, Dave, it's been a while. What have you been up to? Anything fun? Anything good, I hope? John says the smallies are heating up. Well, speaking of Dave Austin, here's his son, Sam Austin. What, are you guys together tonight? Doing something fun, I hope? Craig, look at this. Johnny says 77 degrees, 66 Tuesday, 70s the rest of the week. Good. That'll feel good, won't it, Johnny? You Yoopers are not built for hot temperatures. Not at all. Somebody mentioned smallmouth. Let me tell you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week because we're talking about smallmouth. Good, hot, yeah. My opening guest this week is a guy named John Dirtka. You might know John as purely MI Spearfishing. He posts some very cool videos online. He is the guy who got the DNR and the NRC to institute an underwater spearfishing season in Michigan. Now, underwater spearfishing sounds kind of like a joke, right? But it's not. And these guys aren't using tanks. It's free diving. You hold your breath and go down. So they're athletes. So John talks about that. Then Michael Hensley of Go Great Lakes Bay talks about promoting the Saginaw Bay walleye fishery. Tim says he just got back from Port Huron fishing for a couple of weeks. Fishing was awesome. John says he did love the smallmouth fish. Well, speaking of smallmouth, in hour number 2, Jerry Gostinek of Great Lakes Bass Fishing talks about bass fishing in Michigan. He said it's a world-class fishery. As I was talking with him, he was on Lake St. Clair, and he had 2 people from Oklahoma fishing with him. People come in from across the country to fish bass in Michigan. Then Chad Fedewa of the DNR talks about peregrine falcons. Have you ever seen one? If I have, I don't know it. I'm not sure I would know a peregrine from a big hawk because I don't know what I'm looking for. I finally got to the point where I can tell an eagle from a buzzard. You know, the silhouette, the profile. And what is it? The buzzard, the vulture, has wing feathers that look like this. The eagles are like this. Hey, Todd, good evening. How are you? And then in our third hour, I was going to talk with Captain Dave Engel about salmon fishing on Lake Michigan. Couldn't get a hold of him. He had a bad cell, so I ended up at the last minute calling Captain Paul Schlafly of Riverside Charters out of Manistee and talked with him about the same subject. He says they're getting nice fish already. Bill, I hope the bear hunt is bountiful as well. EB3, good evening. How are you? Kevin says they're the fastest animal out there. They are something else, aren't they? Have you ever seen one, Kevin? What should I look for? We have them here in Michigan now, pretty much all across the state. Hey, Jerry, good evening. How are you? Appreciate you joining us on this edition of WNL. And, of course, we wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. I also did an offshore tackle podcast today with Captain Paul Powis. He's out of Ontario. He fishes the north shore of Lake Erie. Pretty cool stuff he was talking about. I don't have to shoot very far. Is it still at that same dock, Johnny? Hey, Raymond. That's the thing about bear hunting there in White River. The baits are close. It's not much of a shot. The challenge in bear hunting, like the hunt I'm going on right now, is judging the animals. It's still there at the dock. Okay. Are all the rods still on it? Jeff says, do the bugs tear you up this time of year up there besides using Thermacell? If you didn't use a Thermacell, they would tear you up. With a Thermacell, they don't. I've seen this happen a dozen times. You go to sit in your blind and you get in there and it's filled with black flies and mosquitoes. So you fire up a Thermacell, Thermacell. Thermacell. You fire up a thermacell. Patty and Rai are saying hi. Hey, kiddos, how are you? I like it when you guys are on Wednesday Night Live. So if you get in your blind and fire up a thermacell, it'll drive all the bugs out. And even better, they won't come in. I mean, I've seen this happen. The mosquitoes will fly to the window of the blind. They smell the thermacell and they turn around and leave. It's almost miraculous. What do you think of all the cougar sightings in the Yup? Wolves taking deer and now cougars. I don't think there's any more cougars than they were. I just think every once in a while they show up on camera. I did have somebody say, "Did you hear about the confirmed pair of cougars down by Gaylord or Grayling or something?" No, because I don't believe it. Sam, next year when I have more vacation time, I'll make my way up there. You'd love it, Sam. It really, honestly, it's a very, very fun hunt. Todd says you couldn't hunt in South Carolina without one. I believe it. The thermacells are amazing. I mean, they're worth every penny. Have I seen the NRC's hunting regulation changes? Well, I've seen the proposed hunting regulation changes that the DNR submitted, and I've seen the proposed changes that the DNR chairman or the NRC chairman proposed, but nothing has been approved yet. Chris says it's wet and hot and muggy in Kansas. Does wet mean rain, Chris? Because if it's coming our way, we'll take one. Need rain bad. Scott, I couldn't agree with you more. Need rain bad. Thermacells, I'm telling you, that I can't say enough about a thermacell. I'm using the Rec FX4, the fixed blade. Cliff says he bought one on my recommendation, and now he promotes it to all his friends. Johnny says, we don't worry about the cougars up here. Only a few have seen them by eye. More on camera, but all over, not the same spot wolves are. Wolves are way worse. Dust is brutal, Joe says, because he's a landscaper. Yeah, things are dry. It's ridiculous how dry it is for the last day in May. You know what happens tomorrow, my friends? Oh, if you're in Michigan and you want to apply for a Michigan bear or elk tag, you better do it. You better do it. Time is running out. Tomorrow's the last day you can do it. But here's the other thing that happens tomorrow. It's a big day in the history of the United States. This is a day, tomorrow is a day that'll go down as a very, very important date in history. Because tomorrow is the day that I go on Medicare. Just thought you should know that. Chris says, last day and a half, expecting more Friday and Saturday. Nice. Scott says, what's up with the DNR putting rabbits and squirrels on the nuisance list? Oh, hi, Mike. Oh, hi, Scott, to you. I didn't know anything about it, Scott. Rabbits and squirrels on the nuisance list. So what does that mean, Scott? Does it mean you don't need a license to hunt them, to shoot them? Is it like coyotes? I don't know what that means. No, I wasn't aware of it, but I don't know what it means. EB3 says it's raining in Lewiston. Scott says his 38-year wedding anniversary is tomorrow. It's not my birthday tomorrow, Craig. It's not my birthday tomorrow, but I turned 65 in the month of June. So my Medicare kicks in on the first day of the month in which I turn 65. I was thinking the same thing, Patrick. I'm glad you brought it up instead of me. Go to Andy's bar with Johnny. You'll see a lot of cougars. No, Tim, you're old. I'm not. Dave says, we haven't had any rain in a while, but I moved part of my wood pile and the ground is still moist and loaded with worms. Well, that's true, Mark. That Yes. The real reason for the celebration tomorrow is that it kicks off the first day of LGBTQ month. LGBTQ. No permits needed. I wasn't aware of this, friends. My friends, guys, folks. That's what I said. I wasn't aware of this. Johnny says if you're going to hunt with him this year, get in touch with him. No permits needed for rabbit. Which means when I'm out there turkey hunting, like I was at the farm where I was turkey hunting and I was overrun with rabbits, I could have just shot them while I was out there with my pellet gun. Don't forget the plus, LGBTQ plus, which means everybody, except for people like us. We don't get our own month. I was not aware of that, Ryan. You can shoot them all year long. Nuisance like chipmunks. I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't. Dave, you're old. My license fees just dropped drastically. I listen, I would continue to pay what I have been my entire life because I think Michigan hunting and fishing license fees are the best value out there. You'll never hear me bitch about that at all. I think they are a tremendous value. I didn't know it either, David. This is something I should have talked about on the radio show, but I wasn't aware of it. Just like Mark, I wasn't aware of the Ontario fires near Wawa and White River. Afternoon, Ruben. Well, this is interesting because John says, sounds like you have a good question for the DNR in your next show you record. I tried to get an Ask Avery question answered today. Oh, where is it? Let me read you. Oh, I got it. Thanks, Eric. I got to sign up for that. Let me read you an Ask Avery question. Well, from Cliff, who's on here with us tonight. Cliff said, I'm in a Houghton Lake chat group. A question came up for property owners and homeowners whose property has a shoreline. Where does their property end? At the shoreline or a predetermined amount of feet? Do they own the land under the water? Can boaters and swimmers be restricted from using the lake in front of a privately owned property? Cliff says this came up because someone in the group anchored about 25 feet offshore and got out to swim. The homeowner called the cops and they showed up and asked him to leave. I thought that was an excellent question. So far, I haven't been able to get an answer from the DNR. I guess because it changes. I guess because it's not uniform across the state. This is one of these things that drives me crazy. If you've got a law, if you've got a rule, if you've got something people have to abide by, let's make it consistent. Make it easy for the wardens and easy for the people. All right, Rob, I'll see you in a couple days. Yeah, well, yeah. Rob Sador's up in White River. I will be seeing him in a couple of days. So I'm going to be sitting in my Wraith 270 see-through ground blind. Todd says, in Louisiana, you own the land under the water. I can tell you this in Michigan, Riparian writes, you don't own the water that flows over the top of it. I know that much. Stewart says, your property lines go to a fictitious point in the center of the lake. You pay taxes on it. Craig says, should the high water mark, is that the property line? See, there's confusion on this. And I'm trying to get an answer, but I haven't been able to get it yet. Todd says that's how they can block off waterways. Scott, who would know, says it's all confusing. Hey, Rob, before you go, how close are the fires to White River? John says, new to me on the rabbits. I would think you would still need the base license to purchase all other licenses. Yes, you will, but I don't think you need a Scott or somebody. Do you need a base license to shoot coyotes? Do you need a base license to shoot nuisance animals, or can you just do it? Robert said he's always heard the high water mark. That's what I said, riparian rights. At least I thought I said riparian rights. Johnny says, yes, Joe. Let's see what Joe is. Can you put in for bear points online? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Joe. Go to michigan.gov/DNR or use the mobile app on your phone. But tomorrow's the deadline. Tomorrow's the deadline. Jeff says, how many videos are out there because people don't want you fishing 25 feet in front of their docks? If I can catch a fish 25 feet in front of somebody's dock, I'm not going to let them bitching at me, going to get me out of there. November 14th or 16th, you need a fur harvester's license to shoot coyotes. Other than that, you don't. Dave says, years ago, he was anchored by the docks in Port Sanilac in November. The cops came down, told me the marina owned the land under the water, and he almost went to jail that night. Rob says one was only 3 kilometers away, the other one 10K out on Hornpain Highway. Pretty close to town. Go talk to your township clerk or supervisor. You do not control boat traffic or others on the water. Jeff just did it. It worked great. Joe's doing it after the show. Mark said he read 4 kilometers from White River. That's what Chris. That's what Rob was just saying. Rob is up in White River. Gotcha, Craig. That's what I thought. Stu says maybe it's because he was anchored. Chris says the answer to that is if you do not touch the land, then you have the right to be there as long as you have permission. It's confusing. It shouldn't be confusing. Raymond says, June is not LGBTQ plus month. It's National Dairy Month. It's been that way since 1930. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if the world was still thinking more about National Dairy Month than LGBTQ plus month? I have no problem with what people want to do. Just don't force it down my throat. No pun intended. Can you bring a bunch of rain? See, a lot of bring. I figured you meant bring. No, I can't bring you any rain, Rob, because it hasn't rained down here. We're in a drought situation down here. You caught that, did you, Kevin? Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes I say things and I wish I wouldn't have said them. What else is on my list here? Oh, so I was talking about the bear hunt in White River. I will be sitting in a Wraith 270 see-through ground blind over a bear bait. I will be. Sal, is that you? That's EB3 is you. Okay, Sal. I didn't realize that. With my 10-point crossbow, shooting the Rec FX4 broadheads. I'm not even going to take a video camera with me. I'm going to take my phone and my Tacticam that's on my crossbow. This is a quick and dirty and easy hunt. I'm all about making things as easy as possible right now. Chris in Kansas is in a flood watch till Sunday. Send it this way. I will shoot the first respectable bear that walks in front of me. If it's 2 hours into the stand on Saturday, I'll do it. And be very, very happy. There have been years I've gone up there holding out for a big bear and knowing that I might well come home without an animal. This is not one of those years. I want to go up there. I want to get my bear. I want to come back and I want to start fishing on Saginaw Bay. To do that, I got to get the motor swapped. Now, that Pro XS4 Mercury, see, I troll on my big motor. If I didn't troll on the big motor, it wouldn't be that big a deal. but I troll on the big motor and it's pretty loud. And also, we were having a hard time getting access to the troll control function on the motor. The Mercs have a troll control where you can adjust your RPMs in 10 RPM increments when you're trolling. So you can fine tune and dial in your trolling speed exactly. So I'm going to be happy. Minimum size I'm looking for, Jeff, I would say 2.25. Anything over 2.25-ish, I will shoot and be happy with. Very happy. Very happy. And I'll come home with bear meat, and I'll come home with a bear rug that I'm going to give to a buddy. I don't need another one. Is it a big deal to get meat, bows, and guns in and out of Canada? It's kind of hard to get guns into Canada, and whatever you do, don't try to take a handgun into Canada. The last thing I do, I make myself a list before I leave, is I make sure that I don't have any handguns in the truck. I don't have anything stashed in the truck. No magazines, no ammo, no nothing, because I don't want to deal with handguns in Canada. You can take long guns into Canada, but it's a little bit of a paperwork hassle. Crossbows, bows are nothing. They ask you if you've got them. They say, okay, have a good trip. The meat, it's a $35 export tag. Again, no big deal. Linda says she just got back her bear rug from the 2021 hunt, brings back great memories. That's just it. I mean, look at when I look at my mounts here, right? That's what I'm thinking about, is the memories that these hunts. And look at the bear skulls up there. Bear skulls, and there's a wolf skull up there too. Okay. Those, I agree with you. They bring back great memories. All right, Chris, have a good night. How about that dead deer DNR road commission struggle going on in the northern lower? Yeah. If I get a bear, will Michigan brand making brats out of it? Yes. Not the whole thing, but yes. Oh, EB3 is Ed Bolanowski the third. Just thought it was cool that he identified himself. Sal. EB3 is Ed Bolanowski the third. You know why Ed's not joining us on Facebook anymore? Because he was a bad boy and Facebook kicked him off. So he's got to watch on YouTube now. You know what, David? You're probably absolutely right. I go up there saying I'm not expecting a big bear and not holding out for a big bear. And you're right. A 350 pound bear is going to walk in front of me first thing. Probably. Yeah, that's a very good point. And if it does, I'll shoot it. But if it's 2.25, I'll also shoot it. All right, Rob, have a good night. Again, I'll see you in a couple days. Only on my show is EB3. Oh, you only got kicked out. I'm telling you, Ed, I did not ban you from the page. I didn't. I wouldn't do that to you. I value and appreciate your friendship. I wouldn't do it. Okay, here's the deal. Nate. I got to call it quits a little bit early tonight because I actually have a meeting that I have to go to. It's a meeting that was rescheduled to accommodate me. So I can't very well blow it off, and I can't very well be late. So I am going to wrap this up a little bit early. I do not know if I will be back on next Wednesday night. If I'm home, I certainly will be. If I'm still hunting, Dave is not going. If Dave is going up, it's probably going to be in August, Sam. If I'm still up there, and as much as I love being up there, I don't want to be there still Wednesday night. If I'm still up there, I'll be hunting. If I'm home Wednesday night, I will do a Wednesday night live. If I'm home and my boat is ready, I will do a Wednesday night live from the boat at the slip. And I will tell you this, on Wednesday night, June 21st, first day of summer, Wednesday night, June 21st, I'm doing a Wednesday night live on Saginaw Bay with Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis. Walleye fishing using spoons and jet divers on Saginaw Bay. It'll be an excellent lesson in how to troll for Saginaw Bay walleye with one of the best out there. But before we go, got to do this. Got to do that. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Sam. Where'd you go, Sam? Thank you, John. I might actually run some crawlers on Saginaw Bay this summer, Jeff, but I'll be running them behind spoons. My problem with crawlers, aside from all the jokes, is I don't want to troll at 1.1 miles an hour. I'll troll at 2.5. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, John. My name is Mike Avery. The website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. The email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Love to have you reach out. Thanks for joining me, my friends. I will be checking in from White River, too, so you'll know how I'm doing. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.